Hello everyone and welcome to day 2 of your workshop, How to End Emotional and Binge Eating. Yesterday we talked about dieting and as the main pillar that if you want to end emotional and binge eating, you need to stop dieting, and I was explaining in length why dieting doesn't work if you have this kind of eating problem. So today we're going to discover a little bit secret number 2, which is understanding your emotional triggers before a binge instead of relying on motivation and willpower. So this idea of constantly being in control, motivated with a strong willpower is actually impossible because these states of mind are fleeting. After a couple of days or weeks, if you're lucky, they are just going to disappear. So you have experienced this, that whenever you try some new diet, in the beginning you're very motivated, you have a lot of willpower, but after some time you start slipping. You don't have control anymore. You don't have that such strong willpower. You're not as motivated. It's because these states of mind are not a constant thing. You cannot be motivated all the time. You cannot have a strong willpower all the time. The issue is also that you are fed with information that you can just push away your cravings, and you can, be strong and focused and keep things under control. But we are humans and we have flaws and we have many things that we do in our lives, and just sometimes relying on motivation and relying on willpower just won't cut it. So you may think that you need to have a strong motivation to end emotional eating, right? But the truth is you don't. You need a plan how to react in situations when uncomfortable feelings arise. So here's the thing, you guys, when something bothers you, when you feel a certain way that is uncomfortable for you, like sad, bored, anxious, stressed, let's say jealous, defeated, whatever else may be going on, you're going to feel certain emotions that you don't necessarily want to deal with. Those emotions are your triggers. Some other things can trigger you. For example, food on the counter that you're not allowing yourself to eat, people with their comments, old clothes that you don't fit in anymore, the number on the scale when you step on it, maybe some old photos where you see yourself as a thinner person, comments people make. You might have a trigger in the form of a planned restriction. So because you're planning to restrict, now you're eating like crazy and stuffing yourself because you know that from tomorrow you're going to be on a severe diet. You might binge because you are really hungry, because you're not eating enough calories. All of these are triggers and you all have them, except that your life has become for you a set of triggers and such an ingrained part of your life that you don't even notice when these triggers are happening. But you have to start noting them down. When you start noting them down, you will notice a patterns that you eat on very specific days, very specific times, under very specific circumstances. It's only then that you can start, putting that pattern into place and figuring out, okay, I know what is going to happen and I choose I will not eat then, but you're present that your urge is going to come. The same goes for willpower. People are saying that they need to have a strong willpower in order to end emotional eating, but actually they don't. They just need a very strong why. And hear me out. Why do you want to end emotional and binge eating? Why is your guiding light throughout this program and any other program when you're dealing with this problem? The change starts with a deeper purpose. What does that mean? That means that if you want to solve this problem, unfortunately, you will not be consistent if your why is as superficial as I want to look good for an event, or I want to lose weight before the bikini season, or I want to fit in my favorite jeans, or I want to, be more attractive and look more attractive. These are all very valid points, but they're not enough to keep you going when the road to finding food freedom gets tough. You need to dig a little bit deeper. How will your life change if you don't have this problem? Imagine a life when you are not obsessed with food. You're not weighing your calories. You're not counting. You're not obsessing over reading the nutritional labels. You can go out with your friends and socialize. You can go on vacation and not gain weight. You can be free in your body. You become an intuitive eater. You don't obsess over food. You don't throw food away. You don't hide. You don't eat in secrecy. you're losing weight and your parameters such as your blood pressure or blood sugar are changing. These are the deeper reasons why you want to embark on a journey, because it's not always an easy journey changing your habits and working through this. So the reason why these superficial reasons don't work is that what happens when the bikini season is over? Does that mean that then you are going to just eat whatever you want and go back to the same cycle? No, you want to create a habit that is going to be long-lasting habit. So dig deeper, what is the deeper purpose? So the truth about this new method is that in order to end emotional eating, you don't have to rely on motivation and willpower, but you need to have the knowledge. What are your triggers when overwhelming feelings come up, and have a very strong why do you want to end emotional eating in the first place? So I always say that my clients are my best results and my best testimonials. So for example, I have a client who, she thought she always was like quite healthy and exercising, but she could not see the number of the scale move and her clothes were kind of the same. And of course, you lose motivation because you're like, this is not working. But I was telling her, like, there must be something in your daily life that you're doing that became almost like a habit. And she said, yeah, I think I'm snacking every night out of boredom or anxiety, and that leads me to overeating every night without thinking about it. So we worked quite a bit on her habits and understanding why does she eat at night, how can we change these habits, how can we make them more healthy for her so that she could actually see results, but also to understand that that was a very almost unconscious habit that she was doing. It was almost like, in front of TV, I must have something. So we started analyzing, assessing, and then changing the habit overall. So this was the day 2 of the workshop on how to end emotional eating and binge eating without restrictions or dieting. So we talked today about motivation and willpower. Stay tuned for the third and the last part of the workshop that will drop tomorrow in your inboxes. Thank you for listening and watching.